Welcome to the Blades and Bloodlines podcast. I'm Aidan Biasi, a 7th generation barber, carrying on my family's legacy in our 3rd generation shop, a fixture in our community since 1978. This podcast is about more than cuts and trims. It's about connecting with people who have incredible stories, fascinating careers, and vital perspectives to share. Every episode encapsulates an authentic barbershop experience, a bastion of free speech, likes of which you've never seen, and flows into a meaningful conversation, one that might just change how you see the world. So pull up a chair, sharpen your mind, and join the conversation. And remember, soon you won't be able to say anything. So while you have the opportunity to say something, say something. Thank you very much for coming in here. It's a blessing to have a man of your expertise, physique and stature gracing the chair. And for those of you that don't know, Peter's actually been a client here for nearly 16 years.
I think it's more than 16 years, man.
More than 16 years,
Yeah.
17 years. And
I think it's more than 17. I think you're going to 20 years.
20 years.
20 years, man.
And he doesn't even look a day over 40.
Ah, you're too nice.
And he knows my body intimately just as well as I know his head intimately as well.
Okay. That's...
It's very, very, very nice.
Thanks for welcoming me and thanks for having me. I appreciate that. I've never done any podcast, so it's I'm a virgin to it if you wish to be. But it's a pleasure to be here and doing a podcast with you. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but it's going to go somewhere.
And he holds the goal today, Peter.
Okay. Anyways.
Fantastic.
Where do you want to start?
Why don't you give everyone a list of your accolades first? So obviously what you do, where you've trained, and basically if someone was to ask, Peter, how would you describe your professional life? What would you tell them?
Gosh. Well, I would start that I'm a professional dancer, right?
That was your original...
That was my original one, right? So my background starts, I'm first of all from Russia, right? I was born in Russia, Siberia, the eastern part of Siberia. It's actually the second biggest town in Siberia after Novosibirsk. The name of the city is Krasnoyarsk. It has about 1.2 million people.
Okay.
And one of the largest rivers, Yenisei. And it's pretty cold, I can tell you that.
Well, when people think of Siberia, they think of obviously tough, rugged, soulless, emotionless, humorless people.
Right, you can say that.
Yeah.
You can say that, or you can just say you're getting fucking used to it.
Just getting
because
used
you
to
get 4 seasons. You know, you get your summer, which is plus 40, plus 30, and in my hometown, it's it's covered by mountains and forests. Clearly not in the middle of the city, but overall. So summer gets pretty hot, man.
Yeah, so Siberia does get hot though.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Everyone you just think of Siberia, snow. Snow and wildness.
Yeah, so you get your autumn, you get your spring, you get your winter at minus 40. This is the coldest I've experienced, which was quite spicy. You cover pretty much every part of your body, including your nose, and the only thing is left is your eyes to be able to see where the fuck you're going. Beautiful. But besides that, yeah, summer is really warm, man. It's,
And obviously Siberia, that's a pretty rustic place to grow up. So were you guys self-sufficient growing up in terms of what you ate and everything?
That's a good question. That's something I was going to talk to today. And that leads to with my profession to this day and what I'm passionate about personally, and that's what I believe. We grew up in Russia, and I was educated as growing our own vegetables. Not so much fruits, because you get your berries, strawberries.
That's all wild, isn't it?
Huh?
Like blueberries and that grows wild.
Correct.
Yes.
Wild, yeah, correct.
Wild.
I mean, you can harvest it yourself as well. But all the veggies in the world you can think of, tomatoes, cucumbers, huge potatoes as we know.
Yeah, absolutely,
vodka and all that stuff, but big fields. But I was raised and brought up by making and growing all your foods, and clearly when you go into winter, you used to ferment all this stuff. So you still have that pretty much 12 months a year, you just have your ongoing...
You're stockpiling as well.
As well, yeah, exactly. So in Russia, we have a place called dacha, which basically think of it roughly as 1,000 square meters land with a very basic house that my grandpa built. Now, my grandpa, bless his soul, he's dead now, but and he died many years ago. My grandma is still alive, 89. So the house that he has built, just wooden hut, if you wish, probably now 50 years old, still standing.
It's incredible.
Still standing.
Still standing,
And it's basics.
livable.
Man, it's basics. It's wood, you know, it's big kind of studio room if you wish, with few beds, you know.
No, like dividing walls, it's just big open
not
space.
dividing walls, man. This is
There's
a
an
big
outhouse
space.
out there.
Exactly. There's no divided apartments or anything. There's just one space with few beds and stuff. And then you got all the veggies and stuff growing in the middle of it. And then in the corner you build a, you know, outside loo if you wish.
I find it so crazy now how, you know, obviously back then when you were growing up, there possibly could have been this exodus of people leaving the country wanting to go to the city. But then you fast forward all these years now, and that what you're just describing sounds so idyllic. How this generation now, for my generation, would be like, man, that sounds so much better. How they wanted to switch and revert back to what you were describing as growing up because the city life's become so toxic. And then the ELO people are taking that kind of life for granted. When the most of the world still lives like that, really. Like a lot of them still do.
Yes, you do, but unfortunately, I think a lot of people now moving away from that agriculture. I mean, a lot of people now in all the social media and the news, they're talking about grow your own veggies, try eat the best, and etc. But it's for me personally, it's dying a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So taking back to my hometown, all these houses now are just pretty much abandoned, right? So that 1,000 square meters, for example, just to give you an idea, with a basic hut, which you can rebuild, it's not that expensive. It's $200 because my grandma's trying to sell her land, and we just value it out of curiosity. $200. I mean, she doesn't go there anymore.
Is that the land, the allotment's worth $200?
And it's piles and miles of it, because the new generation simply doesn't want to do it anymore, right? It's too hard. It's easy to go to the shops. It's easy to buy stuff and stuff, you know. But when I grew up and, you know, I was raised on nourishing the soil, planting the seed, if you wish, and then just look after it, weed it, seed it, etc., and moving forward with it. And then at the end, you reap all the loins. It's absolutely beautiful, man. All the smell of the veggies and fruits. So that's how I grew up. Yeah. The only thing we used to buy is pretty much fish and meat, and the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the kind of stuff that you can't just go out and grab. And then how does that then? What was the going through your head then as soon as you kind of made the jump and came here? So what was happening in your life when you said, all right, Australia's...
Well, jump wasn't very sudden.
Yeah.
You know, I lived in Russia for about 13, 14 years old. And then my mom met my stepdad, who's an Aussie, from Northern Beaches. And that's why I still live here in Narrabeen. He was interesting enough. My stepdad loves to travel, and that's how he met my mother. It's literally long story. But then from Siberia, I moved to Moscow, which is Moscow, you know, it's like New York, right? Huge city.
Big city.
It's a big city. So I spent about 3 years there, you know, and nothing to compare to where I was living, right? So that was transition from my hometown. And then I moved to Australia. I was pretty much 18 almost.
So you made the move with your parents?
Mom and dad, yeah.
With your mum and dad, okay.
Moved in, yeah.
18. And then so when did you jump on this? You started dancing before you started doing the health practitioner stuff?
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'll make it short. So
don't make it short. You make it short. You make it long and hard and sweet.
My girlfriend won't be happy. But funny enough, when I was 6, my mom gave me to piano lessons, and apparently I was really good at piano, but I did not like it. And next door they were doing dancing. Now I'm not sure which part was dancing was attractive, because I was the only guy, a 7-year-old child that was there, and all the girls. But I pointed my feet, and the teacher said he's great. And that's how my kind of Russian folk dancing career has started.
Well, that was like folk dancing and stuff.
Folk dancing, yeah.
So that's the
all the Kazakh dancing, if you wish. But it's all classical ballet. It's a bit different from ballet. So I started dancing there with the ensemble, and it's pretty much it's like a second home. You would dance there 4 to 5 days a week. You would dance there for up to almost 2 hours. They prepare you for different concerts. So you're dancing on a stage since you are 7, 8 years of age, pretty much. So I grew up, and then when I moved to Moscow, I was dancing in a school called Todes, if you wish. Not sure how to compare it, but they used to, not the school itself, but the teachers, they used to dance with all the famous singers in Russia. So, and then danced with them for quite a while, did some work with them. And then when I left Moscow, I arrived here. So I had quite a few options, didn't know what to do, because in Russia, in Moscow, I finished my high education and funny enough, finished the first year of university, finance economics. So I had a bit of a decision to make when I got to Australia. Do I continue with finance economics, or do I pursue my dancing career? It was kind of a not knowing what to do, but I had to learn English first. I didn't have any English.
When you came, you didn't have any English at all?
Look,
rudimentary.
Yeah, mom clearly spoke with dad in English at home.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you hear a lot and you understand a lot.
Yeah.
But when you go out in the city, you don't speak to your mates in English. You speak in Russian. So practice was very little. Mm-hmm. So you were kind of thrown in the wild, if you wish. When I got to Australia, pretty much had no option, right?
Absolutely.
New culture, new language. No friends, so you just jump in and you go, well, kind of tough shit. You got to do what you got to do.
I imagine Australia at first glance wouldn't have been as maybe conservative or traditional as what you were used to. Especially, did that kind of play into like when you were meeting women and stuff? Were you used where you were from to it was a bit more conservative, and or was the women where you grew up still a little bit more liberal? Like when you go to the beach here and stuff, it's very, or is that just a misconception I'm having in terms of the way people behave?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, I think you know what I mean. So would it be easy when you were here to find a lady of the night or someone for companionship or in terms of in Russia?
For me, it was personally absolutely different because of the language barrier, clearly. And in terms of the whole culture, everything's different.
It's just complete opposite.
Absolutely complete opposite, yeah.
You're conservative and not so conservative.
Correct,
here.
yeah. So you got different mentality, different, not saying bad things about different countries, but in Russia, the alcohol limit is very little, right? So you used to party since you were, teenager, if you wish. Not that I'm proud of it, but we didn't go crazy parties. But taste of alcohol, taste of nicotine, if you wish, were more accessible. So you're going from having a good time with your mates as a teenager, misbehaving, having naughty days, if you wish, to now come in the country, no friends. Restricted alcohol level limit, age-wise, as well as tobacco. So everything has changed for me personally. So
yeah, beautiful. And then with the dancing as well, so that would have opened up a plethora of doors for you. Did it take you overseas again eventually, the dancing and everything?
So when I got back here, learned English for a few months, only 3-4 years, and then 4 months, and then I went and did Northern Beaches.
Yeah.
I did the Plié Groove and Shuffle, which is full-time performing arts for a year. Graduated from then, and then I just literally, I just got out there and was traveling to the city, doing Sydney Dance Company lessons, classes. I was trying to different studios, just basically wanting people to see what I can do.
Yeah.
Besides just doing dance classes, and then it just took me to basically to the cruise ships. Cruise ships. Yeah. So one of the agents saw me dancing, required me to go on audition for cruise ships. I did that, and I got my gig on cruise ships. Now we're going back now 22, 23 years ago. So I left on the cruise ship, so pretty much 19, and I continued my dancing career there.
Cruise ship. So that would have been, because I've even heard from the barbering perspective, I've not had opportunities, but kind of been advised that if you ever wanted to leave the normal run-of-the-mill shop, go on cruise ships, because that's almost like experience, like travel, work, and experience at the same thing. Yeah. So you would have, I guess the people you would have met, the relationships you would have had, would have been unparalleled. Like you wouldn't have forgot those. You still keep in contact with anyone from your cruise ship days?
I'm going 22 years ago, but yeah, you get on a cruise ship. It's a little bit different now. I actually just came from a cruise with my 9-year-old daughter, and that was beautiful. 14 days to Fiji, Vanuatu. And it's always interesting to see how it has changed. But I think cruise ships, when I started a long time ago, was more relaxed, especially for staff or dance performers. A bit more relaxed now. There is a bit more rules and conditions. It's not that bad at all.
Of course not, no.
But it was more relaxed back in those days. Yeah. But yeah, look, it's a great way as a teenager or 19-year-old growing up, and not only pursue your career and to have different shows, because you have different shows from musicals, from jazz to blues to etc. But you get to see places, and you're getting paid not only to do what you love, but to see places.
Absolutely.
Because accommodation is provided, food is provided, unless you want to get on shore like everyone does and indulge in different food cultures. But it was a great way to see
the world.
See the world, man.
Absolutely.
I've seen the parts of Southern, Eastern, Western Caribbean that you probably wouldn't go yourself. Norwegian fjords, absolutely amazing. Just the seclusion of Norwegian fjords, and just traveling into the fjords itself and losing all the connection with the world. No Wi-Fi. The ship loses its whole connection for some specific time.
That's awesome.
And just, it's amazing, absolutely. So you see the places like that, it's unbelievable.
Absolutely. And obviously having to stay pretty fit during that time.
Yeah.
You're obviously big into your training. It's obviously your main role in your profession now. So then how did that transition go then? Because you're, as far as I know, because I've been involved with you for a while now, and you're obviously one of the best, in my opinion, at what you do. Personally, because you don't stick to the script. And what I mean by that is there's obviously not an agenda, but obviously a playbook set by the establishment now. And the reason why I obviously love what you do and why I love seeing you is because you're straight to the point. If something is not working for someone, you'll tell them why. You're not going to push pills on them. You're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. You're going to say, this is the problem. And so how did that set off for you? Because I know that you studied under quite a famous practitioner, Paul C.H.E.K.
Correct.
Under his institute, and I'm quite familiar with him because of you.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually invested quite highly in his podcast and his products now, and they've helped a great deal. So how was his mentorship basically the catalyst for where you are now?
I think it's important to start how I get there. So as a professional dancer, you clearly educated how to move and stretch if you wish, but it's more dance specific purposes, right? So and unfortunately as a dancer, as any other gymnast and professional, you get injured because you're doing the things that normal people don't do day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So since the age of 19, since the age of 7, to be honest with you, start dancing and doing partner work, lifting girls above their head and stuff like that, you get in the wear and tears, all right? So probably by the age of 20, I've developed a wear and tear in my lumbar spine, lower back, right? Mm-hmm. To be specific, 4-5S1. It's degeneration and bulging of the disc, right? So at one point, I basically got signed off from the ship.
Yeah.
And it took me about 2 years to go through rehabilitation, about 10 months with the physio 3 times a week, and just to try to get myself moving. Because
that was like no dancing in that time.
Oh, no. Gosh, I couldn't even sit down. So I could only lay down and stand. It was severe. My body was all contorted and twisted.
There's a void there now, obviously, at this point in time.
Yeah. So as I was going through rehab work, I ended up going to Fitness First on Northern Beaches here in DY. It still exists. And I just met the right people through training who start basically make me understand there is more to it just lifting weights and just doing a leg press or a chest press, right?
Ego lifting, pro lifting.
Yeah, understand what are you training for? What are you trying to do, right? If you want to, let's say, gain muscle, but you have injuries, what do you prioritize?
Exactly.
Gaining muscles first or getting away from the injury, understand your body, stretch, move, and then start, getting a bit more muscle and look good, whatever your goals are. So I met the right people. I think that's what's important to understand. And I met the right people throughout my career. That after rehabilitation, I was doing it's called it's kind of a Tai Chi Qigong class.
Okay, yeah.
And the teacher said, "Oh, you're great, at moving." And I said, "Oh, I'm actually a professional dancer." So you should consider going and doing a group exercises certificate to be able to teach as well. And I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'm not working right now. I just finished my rehab work." So I went and did Cert 3. And I ended up doing Cert 4 in my master training.
Yeah.
Actually never ended up going into group classes like Qigong and Tai Chi and all this stuff teaching. I ended up going to one-on-one straight away. Personal training. So as I got to personal training, meeting those right people, spreading the word about Paul C.H.E.K, and understanding there is more to training than just lifting weights. Then I started doing courses.
Yeah.
Right, but by all means, I didn't get there straight away. The first 1 or 2 years of my career was, help people to get fit. That was just a very basic knowledge.
Yeah,
which is fine. You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
But as I started doing courses, talking to people, doing mentoring session, it got me to that next level, more understanding and helping people to understand what is your goals.
Yeah.
Let's say again, if you want to lose weight or gain muscle, but you have injuries, let's take care of the injuries. Let me help you to understand your body.
Yeah.
Let me help assess your body, understand what you need to stretch, mobilize, and move forward.
Your philosophy very much is education.
Yeah, look,
people need to understand exactly about themselves.
Absolutely.
So that way, not only do they not get conned, but just take the word for whatever anyone's saying it. But obviously, me having seen you, everything that you tell me to do, every stretch you show me, I'll take it to the next level and research why we do that. Where did he get that from? It only enriches you, because at the end of the day, as you say, I don't want to be seeing, well, I do, but I don't want to be seeing you forever. I want to be able to fix these
Of
problems
course.
on my own. And that's education is so important. And that's what I think separates you from a lot of other people that I've seen and spoken to. You just take it to that next level.
I strongly believe, as you said right now, is coaching people or getting them to understand what needs to be done for them.
Yeah.
Right. I personally, just personal, I don't sell programs. I sell education. I sell coaching. I sell knowledge to be able to them to understand. So again, as you said, you don't need to be with me for the rest of your life. But funny enough, I've got clients over now 20 years and been with me for 20 years. And I said, basically, excuse my language, what the fuck are you doing with me? And to take it to the next level, they're saying, oh, it's a friendship now.
Yeah, of course.
Besides a friendship, every time we come, a bit of venting,
Yep.
a bit of psychology, if you wish. Sometimes I think I should be a psychologist in the sessions. But it's just moving forward. You develop a relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but yeah, I'm a big believer on coaching and understanding people. When it comes to nutrition, when it comes to posture, stretches. I don't want to give them a program and say, hey, don't go and do 3 sets of 20 reps at 25 kilos.
Yeah.
And then what? What's next? So personally, I believe in educating. And then it's up to them how they move forward.
Absolutely.
And if they want to come and see me on a regular basis, or they spread their wings and flourish, if you wish.
And then who exactly is Paul C.H.E.K, and who is he to you, and what does he mean to you, and what stands out the most about his methods that have stuck with you?
So I've done, besides Paul C.H.E.K, just want to quickly touch up on it.
Yeah.
I've done many other courses.
Many other ones, yeah.
Physios, oysters,
Yeah.
because you just choose what you want to do, man, right? And
Absolutely.
I don't stick to the rules. Hey,
Because you don't stick to the rules. You
no, I
are
don't stick to the
like
rules.
a jack of all trades,
I don't
really.
care about specific insurances. They have to apply to the rules and go and do their courses and stuff. I choose what works.
Yeah.
Right? And what makes sense. It's very basic.
Yeah.
Right? And what doesn't make sense, I'm not going to go into the course. Over 22 years of my career, I choose and I go, hey, this particular person, Paul C.H.E.K or whoever it is, Aidan, Nick, I go into the courses and I go, shit, I actually haven't done it. So maybe I've done out of course 90% information, but you always take 10% out of it over 5, and you apply it and you go, this is cool shit. I'm going to do it. So I've done more than just Paul C.H.E.K. And what I love about Paul C.H.E.K, besides his basic assess, without assessing there is, you're guessing. Paul also says, go and do other courses and do what works for you. And I think that stuck with me for the first time I've done his course, because I'm a big believer as well. When people come and see me, my first 20 minutes is complimentary.
Yeah.
Because I want them to understand what I do.
Yeah.
And I want them to understand what I can give them. Because sometimes it's not for everyone.
No.
Right? Sometimes people don't like the truth.
Exactly.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Because they either had specific training and then there's something else sits there and tell them, this is not the way I would do it.
Yeah.
And I like to break down why, because it's pretty basic.
Exactly.
All right. So it definitely stuck with me that he practices, go and study someone else.
Yeah.
Choose what works and pass it on. Because if it works for you, you apply it. And that's what I did with all my training. I went through CrossFit, powerlifting, although I don't look like it, but I've done courses on that. I'm from Russia originally, all the kettlebells. Powerlifting
absolutely.
is very close to home. I've done your bodybuilding, I've done many different training. I went through the whole pyramid. I got a pyramid of training I've done. And I chose what works for me.
Yeah.
And I know I don't need to look all that amazing to be able to prove who I am, but I choose to what works for my body with my injuries, with my needs in life, being a father to a beautiful 9-year-old child, to be able to run with her, etc. So Paul for me is a true testimony in fitness career because he's open-minded.
Absolutely.
And says how it is. And a lot of people don't like him, unfortunately, in the fitness.
So they don't do that. He's like the Graham Hancock to archaeology, like what Graham Hancock is archaeology, so that he is to the fitness industry, because he's not following mainstream norms, is he? But also he's going in there talking about, since when has a mainstream doctor ever said to you, I don't want you only to eat cherries because they're packed with vitamins, but what's the spiritual implication of eating cherries? That would make the head spin.
Correct.
But he's all about that, obviously, about the the relationship between your digestion and how that works and what
Correct.
to eat and when and everything. It's just, and that's what I feel like is missing from
Correct.
mainstream kind of medicine now. And I know that you like to touch on a little bit as well. Every time I ask you about what you're eating and what you're having breakfast, it's like, oh, this is because it's fermented, because I need to carb for the next day. It's, you're eating for a specific reason.
Correct.
And so you've obviously taken that into your, is that the kind of stuff that you then prescribe to your clients as well? Do you do diet as well for clients too?
Correct. So as I mentioned before, I more coach people on that kind of stuff,
you more
right?
coach them, okay.
So coaching means for me with training and nutrition, posture, the list goes on, is to be educate someone, right? Educate them on, hey, what is nutrition, right?
Yeah.
For me, there is no such a thing as a diet, all right? Because what is diet for someone? Right? Someone diet could be intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
Someone's diet could be more ketogenic diet. Whatever you want to do in your life, I think the prerequisite before that, understand nutrition. Eat healthy for at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Let your body understand the goodness of good quality food. You know, educate the difference between certified organic, free range, commercial based. Right. Understand the soil. All right. I'm not big believer counting grams, protein, macronutrients, etc.
I was about to mention that.
For me, it's not a big thing, because when you look at the body, and the body has about 6-7 different stresses, it all affects your body one way or another.
Yeah.
Take me, for example, if I do stress psychologically, and I went through some stages clearly, like we all do, of psychological stress, my body is not hungry in the morning, right? My body is retrieves of food, it's trying to preserve and heal itself from inside out. You know, I drink good alkalizing filtered water, you know, I take some MCT oils, and I'm trying to nourish my body. I try not to push it.
Okay.
I listen to my body, and that's what I coach when it comes to nutrition. I coach what is fats, oils, and proteins. Yeah. What is carbs? Yeah. Simple as this, because to this day, I believe a lot of people don't understand the basics.
I don't think they do either.
They don't. And funny enough, quite a few years ago, it still stuck to me. Someone said to me that milk is carbohydrate. So I just said, what the fuck? Milk is carbohydrate. So it just shows you how someone's so narrow-minded on...
Well, so someone would have told them that. Well, they would have got that from an Instagram reel or from a doctor, God forbid.
Whatever it was. I didn't ask. I was so shocked that for me it was common knowledge. But again, shows you whatever for you is common knowledge, like with your industry as well. Yeah. You need to learn how to use scissors before you jump on, for example, into the trimmer. You know,
the opposite, but I know what you're trying to say. You learn the clipper first, because scissors.
You know the clipper first. Scissors is difficult. So
well, you have your bread and butter, and that has to be known first.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So stick with your basics, understand the good quality, and then from there on, once you eat healthy, move healthy, understand your body, take it to the next level, man. Whatever you want to do, baby.
100%.
Yeah. So Paul is really good with that. I mean, he's got a few different branches. If someone decides to go and do it, you know, he's got a holistic lifestyle coaching, which is more, you know, nutrition, hormones, understand your body, meditation, breathing. He's got about 4 different levels. I've done about 2. The other levels are next level, and I personally know I'm not ready for it, because I think even after 22 years of my experience and being 15 years holistic lifestyle coach, roughly, I don't feel like I gave enough to people to be able to move on to the next level, to know more, to give more. Because I find, unfortunately, in Australia, people just... And maybe it's not Australia, because I've traveled around the world for quite a long time, are very shallow-minded, you know. So Instagram, it's all like, let's take photos. So it's all more visual, and that's good. Sounds like people do not want to understand what is true fitness. That's just me. I know I'm sure a lot of people are not going to agree with me, which is fine. So it's more for the looks, right? So, and then he's got more of a practitioner side, right? This is where you go to exercise physiology, physio, osteo, more assessment, testing, how to, you know. I had a client, and without Paul's education, I would know that she had a lower back problem. And after assessing her, her left toe didn't move. So every time when she was walking outside of the left pinky, which was causing all the mechanical imbalances
and just
to the
to
body.
notice something that's small.
Exactly. So you know, you can do your basic releasing your glutes, stretching your hamstrings, glutes, and releasing ITBs. But I had to mobilize her ankle for a little bit, get the big toe moving, get all the fascia released underneath the foot, and off she goes. The pain was gone. And she went through different doctors and physios and stuff. And I'm not saying people are bad, but if you're not assessing, you are guessing. And if you don't understand, you're just going to be injured at the end of the day. And I know that myself, because when I started this fitness career back in America, when I was dancing and when I was 19, I was lifting weights, just lifting weights. And I know back now, I was lifting weights with different bodybuilders on the cruise ships, and I was training for bodybuilding purposes. But hold on a second, I was a dancer who had to move functionally,
exactly.
Lift on a cruise ship that moves around, girls with one hand above the head, which gonna move, which is unstable weight. So absolutely opposite from a bodybuilding, absolutely opposite. So that's why, in my opinion, I've developed a lot of injuries without understanding the true meaning of training, which got me into a lot of injuries, which got me to a lot of thinking and moving forward. So it's a catch-22.
It is.
I'm grateful that I was injured, but not grateful for the pain that I went through. But now I know the things that
I can see. Obviously, it made you and molded you. Obviously, I've opened up a lot to you about my own issues with autoimmune disease and everything, and how the last time I came to you, how I'm tapering off my prednisone course now, and I said that I feel so bloated and it's messing up my gut and it's ruining me. And you gave me some advice, as in, like, don't worry about it, it's fine. You know that it's not your fault why it's happening, this and that. But obviously that pain's molding you and it's bringing you basically where you need to be, because obviously you yourself as a Christian man know that these paths are there, they're given to you as tests, essentially. So you have to end up where you need to be. But having said that, what you said about everything just then, it must be very frustrating then to see, crack that open, have a good hydrate. I'll join you. Do it in the microphone.
Do the microphone?
Yeah, get it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, baby.
What a
hydration
sound. Oh, I love it.
I'm just going to pause there for a second. I think we should be doing a different podcast, more
sensory, ASMR.
More sensory. That's after midnight.
Are you ready to
I can really open up and say who I am. The guys in the background over there laughing. They know what I'm talking. We started the podcast very warm and gentle. Warm. Maybe not.
Well, let's get some bombshells in, shall we? How it must be very frustrating for you, obviously now, because 20 years ago or whenever it was when you started this, there was no social media saturation.
Oh hell no.
There was no on Instagram. Hey, do you have poor gut health? Hey, is your husband's gas really bad? Hey, if your left toe hurts, you've got liver damage. Like, it's all this crazy stuff. It's everyone's thing, and so you're saturated, right? And let's be honest, people are getting the majority of their health and fitness advice from a unvetted, unsourced 15-second clip they've seen on TikTok, and they're like, yes. But obviously for you, saying that, being the knowledgeable person that you are, like, do you feel like the public being misleaded like that, and then they come to you with all these problems because they've injured themselves or their diet's wrong? Like, does that then kind of feel like it gives you a bit more purpose to want to go out and educate people and to really nail the truth into them? Or you're just like, look, let people do what they want to do. It's not up to me to save the world. But does that, because for me, if I see people walking around with bad haircuts, and I just think, man, I can see exactly what someone's done that's wrong. And should I tell that? Nah, I shouldn't tell him, because, if he likes it, it's fine. Just like how you say to me when you walk through the gym and you see all the bros in there and you're like, oh man, I could nitpick exactly, So how do you then navigate those feelings?
My man, it comes with experience.
Yeah.
Over 20 years now. And it took me quite a long time, by the way. I was in exactly the same shoes as you are, right? Young and proud and full of calm, if you wish. But anyways, I used to I used to go to the gym and in my mid-20s, and I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? What is going on? But over the years, you come, as you said, with the one realization is you can't help everyone.
No.
Right? And what is the point of wanting to help everyone? I think strong. I mean, the reason I've come in here over 20 years now, besides you guys doing a haircut, it's a kind of a family now. You come here, you're having a good laugh, get a good hug, you talk shit, you walk out, you feel much better. You don't just feel refreshed with a new haircut. And it's very simple. 20, 30 minutes, you walk out with a smile because it takes you to that next level.
Well, we're a source of energy. You come here to plug in.
Exactly. So the same with the training. You just now understand that if someone ready for you, they will get in touch with you. But you're absolutely right. I started with no internet, no YouTube, nothing. Just basic raw knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Trial and
As you,
error.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, good old VHS tapes, DVDs now, you know. I still have them, by the way. And this, you get you pay, you go, you have to find the course, you got to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to insert the DVD, VHS tape, and you got to listen, you got to study before you have to go and do it. So I think now there is so much there with everything, not just training, with the haircuts, right? But I like to use an analogy on everyone, right? Training seems to be the most accessible in terms of watching videos and go, now I'm a personal trainer. You hear it every day, man. My friend told me to do this. My mate told me to do this. And I go, well, that's great. If they have experience and education, and if you're really ready to listen to your friend, and you know they're not going to damage you because they providing you with what you need, not because what YouTube says, then go for it and do it. But at the end of the day, you don't watch a mechanic YouTube video and trying to fix your car.
No.
You don't watch how you may post how to do the haircut and try to do your mate's hair. It's going to come up all fucked up, man.
Shit, it happens.
I can tell you that. So the same with training, I like to use analogy is invest.
Yeah.
Invest into a good quality coach.
Yeah.
Right? Learn about your body and move forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's saturated with everything these days. And that's why, my man, I'm not on the social media. It's
No,
simple
you're
as this.
not, are you? No, you're not.
I don't have Instagram. I think Daniel, he is a bit shocked right now. He had a look at me and he's like, what? Waste of time. Why doesn't he have an Instagram?
What a waste.
No, I don't. What a waste. What a waste of beauty. No, I got Facebook because from the ancient days, I'm keeping people in touch with, you know, from Puerto Rico and Colombia and God knows what. Not for those reasons, not for Colombian reasons. Don't look at me.
He needs a hookup.
I know. I can hook you up later. Yeah, it's that's the only reason I have, to be honest.
Even that's becoming obsolete now, Facebook,
yeah, exactly.
really. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just too much for me personally, right?
Yeah.
I got my 40, 50 hours of clients to look after. I got my 9-year-old daughter to look after whenever I see her.
Yeah.
That's for me enough, man.
That's enough.
I got a relationship with my new partner.
Absolutely.
What else do I have time for? You know what I mean? And I need some
exactly.
time for myself. Come here, do a haircut, go for a jog on the beach, go for a swim, surf, whatever I need to do. That's already all plenty of time in the world to do all I need to do.
And no scrolling in it at all, because you'd be surprised how much of that time is procrastinating scrolling.
Yeah.
You know, but also,
it is addictive.
Oh, it is addictive,
Yeah,
100%. But then having said that, obviously on a practical level, I guess if you could, and I know that you don't like to give too much away, because if you want this guy's gold nuggets, you got to pay him. But if they're obviously the little things, little tidbits that you could give, okay, if someone watching this said, all right, but Peter, how do I stimulate growth? How do I do it? What would be the best thing to start? So what would you tell them? All right, if you want to build biceps, how do you build biceps? In Peter Pavlov's opinion, for someone that just wanted the basic thing, because I know that you shoot straight, and it's not going to be the prettiest answer.
Yeah.
But
And look, let's be honest. Let's speak how it is. A lot of people come to the gym right now to look big. You come to my gym, I won't say the name, but you see all the 16, 17-year-old guys taking their shirt off in the middle of the gym.
It's quite pathetic.
I go to myself, have you even hit the puberty yet, man? But, you know, the posing, you understand what they have no shame taking the shirt in the middle of the gym.
It's really weird.
In front of the clients who come there. And
fucking broccoli heads.
So it's quite funny, to be honest with you, but I go, put your fucking shirt back on, man. Respect other people. But, you know, besides understanding the body, understand the time and attention, right?
Yeah.
Understand how the body works, right? Yeah. You can train for explosive and power training, but if you want to stimulate the muscle without injuries and build all the ligaments or postural muscles, slow the fuck down, okay?
Absolutely.
So to throw the idea there, each set should be minimum 40 seconds, right? Before you start doing explosion. Build your body, build your base. You don't build a house on the sand. You build a house on the fucking concrete.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you start building a house on the sand, eventually it's going to go. So if you jump into, let's say, bodybuilding and doing your 10 reps within 10 seconds, I assure you something's going to snap at the end of the day. And you end up more time fixing it and paying more money for rehabilitation than actually slow the fuck down. Make it happen in 40 seconds, time and attention minimum, and progress.
Well, I remember hearing, you know, back in the day when I first started, and I'll admit my training's very much bodybuilding style, but I've I train obviously just to maintain where I am, to have a bit of muscle definition, to keep all my illnesses in check, because obviously resistance training is obviously the best form of anti-inflammatory. It's very good for your mental health. We all know the benefits. But then having said that, I always remember hearing that, oh, you shouldn't lift weights, you shouldn't do bodybuilder style training unless you've mastered push-ups, pull-ups,
Absolutely
dips,
agree.
body weight. And I've been personally smashing the dips. I've been loving the dips, and you've been giving me some very good advice on them. How low to go, the angle to what to hit. And I'm using a weight belt. I'm up to nearly 20 kilos now. And I honestly say to myself, why didn't I start this earlier? The feeling that you get off the dip bars when you look down and you think, my God, this is the biggest compound up for my upper body, and I feel jacked like a gymnast, like thick. And I just think,
pretty hot.
Oh, absolutely. I feel it. And I feel like people realize it too. They notice.
I always say to anyone.
There's credence to that, obviously. Though.
I always say to people, if you isolate, you must integrate.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Just an example. If you do a leg press, you got to do a squat.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your body will get stupid and dumb. Okay? Leg press has a lot of dysfunction, but let's say you're absolutely perfect. There's no injuries. You're functionally moving. And if you decided to leg press, I will do a squat with you at the end. You got to get the body stimulated again. You got to get it moving how it's supposed to move.
Yeah.
What is a squat designed? Taking the shit.
Yeah.
Simple as this.
Yes, because there's no like ancestral reason why someone would have been sitting there pushing on a leg press, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
But a pull up and all
So
that is
a functional movement for me personally, even if I got bodybuilders, I don't look like a bodybuilder, but I got bodybuilder.
You do.
I got a body. Oh, thanks, baby.
Like a physique one.
I got bodybuilding clients, but I educate them.
Yeah.
And educate them in a way of, if you isolate, must integrate. We'll do a chest session, a lot of isolation, and towards the end of the day, we'll do some push-ups on the rings. On the rings, dips on the rings. Depends on their state, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I always integrate. And guess what? Touch wood, they never get hurt unless they go out and do stupid thing at nighttime and party. But they never get hurt. Hardly ever. Ever.
And obviously, when it comes to bodybuilding and stuff, where do you kind of fall on the whole, this big steroid epidemic now with kids, teenagers? And I don't know if because you're not on social media, and you're very lucky that you're not, but it's absolutely a cesspit of these stupid kids jacking themselves up with steroids and then going on there going the lifetime natty kind of thing. Like, obviously, you don't get involved in that whole thing, do you? Or do you see that a lot in the gym? Kids that are obviously abusing.
Of course you do. Look, I think it's like anything else these days, yeah? Alcohol, drugs, nicotine, steroids. You pick your pick, right?
And it doesn't.
It's out there, right? So it's becoming a norm. But is it a norm? Is it a norm, right? If you don't understand, let's talk about steroids, right? Because a lot of people always, and I think that's where you want to go to, because that's your eyes are kind of, not you personally, but you want to discuss it.
Because I know that your
podcast is about that, so let's talk about it.
You've got an opinion on it because
my opinion is, look, if you want to do any steroids, you should wait until your true testosterone level is down.
Because the thing is,
let's say 40,
kids
for example.
It's kids doing it.
Yeah, well, kids are stupid.
which lends itself to this toxic social media age.
Toxic
now.
social media. It's pressure from what I believe is their friends. One start doing it, look amazing and great. The other one, and I go, mate, but your mate is full of pimples, mate.
And balls don't work.
Yeah, exactly. The balls don't work, and dick is not going to stand at the end of the day. But again, what are you going to do? You can say what you think about it. I think it's wait until your mid-30s and 40s if you want to experiment with anything.
Yeah.
Go and see a good doctor, a sport doctor. Do your blood test. If you really need it, an experiment, be honest with them and say, hey, I want to play around with different stuff. All right, let them help you. All right. Look, steroids is such a big thing right now that it's one of those topics. It requires a different podcast. But do your education, and if you decided to do when you in your 19 and 20, I say you're stupid. I say you're absolutely stupid. And it pre-exposes. What a lot of people don't understand, especially kids these days. Besides looking good, hey, you got any cancer cells? And you do any steroids, guess what? It's going to grow with you, right? Absolutely. Cardiovascular, your body is growing, your heart is not going to grow. It's going to stay the same. So do what you want to do, but do your studies and do your research by all means and prevent yourself from further injuries and damages internally.
Well, it goes for anything like that. But then, having said that, nutrition-wise? Because obviously a lot of the guys when they're on steroids, that makes it seem like they can just eat whatever the hell they want and they'll put on muscle, whatever. But they're enhanced. But nutritionally, and I wanted to bring this up specifically with you because I know that you've helped me a little bit with it when it comes to this whole, I would say the flavor of the day when it comes to health now is gut health. I feel like a lot of people are struggling with that now. And that's funny somehow to you? You got a big smirk on your face?
Well, gut health has been a problem for quite a long time.
No laughing matter. But
Not laughing, but smiling. It's been here for a long time.
Yeah, but social media, I've seen it's more prevalent now. Yeah. Like I've seen that it's everywhere, and it's always been a problem. Like I swear, my dad's had gut health problems his whole fucking life, and it's only just come to fruition now, where everyone's talking about it. Every single time you scroll on socials, there's a different product there for it. But obviously, for you, if someone came and said, Peter, obviously my gut's suffering, so then what would you then recommend to them from your personal repertoire of information? Then
that's why I would assess first. I would definitely assess first. Absolutely, yeah. Let's say someone is psychologically stressed, but the food is absolutely amazing, right? Not maybe 100% clean.
Yeah.
Right. As we know, when we get stressed, we have a more fight or flight state of a body, which increases your cortisol, and that can lead to inflammation of the gut. Mm-hmm. Simple as this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is why the assessing is important.
Yeah.
Let it be either questions or talking to someone and really know your shit and do it. Excuse me. But it's not just about food personally for me, because I personally have about 50% of my clients who went through either relationship breakup, drug abuse, and many other things, and trying to get back to a normal life. So psychologically, they're struggling and they're staying behind. Yeah. So for them, nutrition is not that big of a part, because as you know, if we look at a totem pole, if you wish, Paul talks about it quite a lot as well. Yeah. I'm a big fan of it. If we look at a totem pole, pole, where we will put in the top, we'll put breathing, respiratory. Of course. What do we do from there? We'll put, I would say, water, right? After water, we'll put nutrition. And after nutrition, we'll put sleep, and then movement. Well, what can override everything? Psyche. Your psychology, mindset, right? Absolutely. A mindset. If someone decides to take their life, well, fucking nothing else matter. Yeah. Right? So psychological part and inflammation to the gut has a lot to do with this, in my opinion. Yeah. In terms of the foods, if they come and they're honest with you, and if they're not, you can see it. Yeah. Cutting basics, right? So if someone is addicted to, let's say, sugar, and they're eating processed sugar, and they can't quit, they're like, I'm desperate. Yeah. Right? I'll say, all right, let's use brown sugar, let's use honey, let's use dark chocolate. Because in theory, you can't be addicted to it. You eat too much dark chocolate.
It's too bitter. You just,
Well, it's besides too bitter, God damn, it's going to be sore on your stomach. All right? So, and brown sugar and honey, you have a teaspoon of it, you're satisfied. You don't want it.
You can't eat shitloads of raw honey.
Exactly.
Like you can, but
it's sweet enough itself to be able to kill those cravings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I would help someone to get off the sugar, for example, right? Because not a lot of people are just there, I want to quit straight away and to be able to be absolutely perfect, right? I know my personality, I stopped everything when I needed to stop. Yeah. But some people it takes time to, we owe it, if you wish. So gut is such a big...
It's the biggest thing. I think it was Hippocrates, the ancient Greek, the guy that made the Hippocrates Oath, even was saying back then in ancient Greece, the gut is the root of all health issues. And I always thought to myself that like surely is even with my own issues, I'm like, nah, there's got to be way more to it. But I think at the end of the day, he's right. But then obviously talking about myself in that respect, autoimmune disease, and then we start getting to this more, okay, here we go. Then it all ties into pharmaceuticals, and it all ties into the food industry and how the food pyramid is wrong. And it almost seems like all these guys are in collusion. They're all in cahoots, making you sick to feed you the pill, to do this, to do that. And you can obviously see with your expertise like how wrong the information is out there. Like you get Scotch finger biscuits with fucking two Health Star, you know what I mean? And then you look at a thing of raw honey or dates. I just smashed a packet of dates before this with coconut on them. Beautiful, I love it. Gets my digestive tract going. And it goes, oh, but that's calories, it's one star. But then there's a piece of shit food like chips would be more. So then how does that work then? Like do you think that there's some kind of collusion in there, that they're all working together, or what do you think?
I think in terms of, you touched up on the ingredients.
Is there an attack on health?
There's always been an attack on health.
Always.
Look at butter. Organic butter used to be the shit.
Grass-fed, yeah.
And then the margarine came and everyone started eating fucking margarine. Then the social media came out and said the margarine now is bad. Let's eat fucking butter. so you just go, what just happened with evolution?
Well, they used to say that a cholesterol of 300 used to be really good. And mine in my last blood test is 9. And he goes, oh my God, that's too high for someone your age. What do you eat? And I said, it's red meat. I'll butter it with grass-fed butter. But I also, as you said, one of the best advices you ever gave me was to cycle through your proteins because it takes,
absolutely
how many hours for your body to
up to 75 hours.
Up to 75 hours for your body to
eliminate particular food groups out of your system. Yeah.
And so that way it doesn't cause build-up of stool, build-up of waste and everything. And that's something I've been, a tidbit I've been living by for ages. And I was listening to, since you told me, and I was listening to one of Paul Chek's podcasts, and he repeatedly goes back to it again and again and again as a building block of digestive health. And the fact that you told me that as well was just, mate, unreal, because it's the best piece of advice. I've never felt like lighter. But then having said that, my specialist said to me, your cholesterol's way too high. It's 9. And I said, obviously I do have the autoimmune disease, but I'm not eating anything bad. Mm-hmm. And then I mentioned to him, what about when it was 300 back in the day? And then he just put on all this thing like, oh yeah, but we're more sedentary now, this, that. Just gave you the runaround really, which is why even though a proper gastroenterologist, I still even prefer your method, because it's tried and true, and when you can see the hypocrisy of the industry, or the health industry now, you can't help but feel a little bit like under attack, as you said, because now, and if you've noticed the whole crusade on seed oils,
on what, sorry?
On seed oil, so on vegetable oil and everything. But was that always, did you always know about that kind of stuff?
Since I've done the Paul Chek education, yes.
Yes, so he was one of the first crusaders on it, right?
He's been talking about it forever.
But no one, I never heard of him until I met you.
Yeah.
And he's not really in the mainstream, is he?
He is some kind of in the mainstream.
Yeah.
He is there. He's got his own podcasts, as you heard.
Yeah, I've listened to him, yeah.
So he's out there. He's recently became more and more.
Yeah.
But look, touch up on the health charts, touch up on the ingredients. My biggest suggestion, like I did with the, rotate your foods.
Yeah.
A little bit proteins, carbs, etc. Your gut health is important in terms of if you're rotating, you are eliminating offending food groups to be able to not develop allergies and etc. But ingredients wise, 1-2 stars, but understand your ingredients, right? Yeah. If you buy the packaged food and you turn around, the ingredient has numbers, colorings, and up to 10 different stuff there. Yeah. Well, don't buy it. You don't understand where it comes from.
100%. Well, I feel like that education is there, but people just choose to ignore it because, as you said, with Australians, they're a little bit, I think we saw it in the COVID times, they're a little bit shallow-minded. As soon as someone tells them to do it, they'll just do it. They've got too much trust of authority. But that's what I wanted to ask you about that. So, obviously father to father, how does everything that you're involved in, or your knowledge, then kind of cross over to your fatherhood and raising your daughter? Obviously you'd have some pretty good, but she's growing up with a dad that knows his shit.
It's tricky, man. It's tricky, as you know yourself. I mean, when my little one is with me, by all means, we'll sit together and we'll watch funny YouTube videos of cats, but there is a time limit on it, right? I'd rather go and see a movie with her and hug her and share good quality popcorn with butter and sea salt in it, if you wish. But it's tricky, man, because once she goes out there and then she's 9, the friends are gonna say this, the friends are in TikTok and watch shit. Excuse my French, but I'm open with her. I say, baby, Instagram is shit.
Yeah.
Bye, Papa. And so it's full of rubbish. Explain one good thing out of it. Funny cat videos, funny animal videos. I'm like, well, you can watch it on YouTube. We don't have to go. Look, I try to educate her, just being honest with her. Like I'm honest with my clients. Simple as this. Yeah. Sweetheart, we need to cut off the sugar because we recently went on a cruise. And by all means, you indulge into your stuff there, man.
Of course.
But even my point is indulging into, let's say, desserts. Having a dark chocolate cake for me, once or twice, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. That's too much for me. You just feel like shit.
Of course.
So the same with her. On the third night, she was like, she couldn't even finish it anymore. So I say, sugar is really bad for you, and I explained why, and I just simply honest with her.
Yeah.
But it's hard these days. Like with anything else, like you didn't hear about C.H.E.K, many other things. It's just now more available.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely
only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. There's been more and more stuff until to the point I believe is, if you don't raise your child, make your decision.
Yeah.
Understand.
It's always your decision. It's always on you.
But for me as a father, if I can imprint it to my 9-year-old daughter, make your best decision. Understand. Don't do what other people do. Don't worry about it. Is sugar bad or good? At the end of the day, we just discuss it. Bad. Okay, you decide to have it, you're going to have blocked gut and you won't take a shit for a few days. And then when you take a shit, god damn, it's going to hurt. And it's not going to be pleasant. And it happens. And then she sits there and goes, Dad, you are right. And I was like, that's okay. Mm-hmm. You've learned on your own experience.
Absolutely. And that's the best way. But what's, I guess, the biggest obstacle to you then wanting to impart your knowledge on your daughter? Like, is her mum is not of the same thinking or not? Because I find with my kids, my missus is American.
That's why I sent you, I don't know if you've seen it on, sorry to interrupt, on WhatsApp. I've sent you
I did.
I won't talk about it.
No, you did send it. I haven't watched it. I know
you guys talked about it.
I haven't watched it though.
The whole epidemic thing in the injections, vaccines. I sent him something. He's smiling there. Yeah, we won't talk about it now.
Did you just vape something in here?
We won't.
No, okay.
We won't talk about it, right? But I've sent you something where it wasn't so much about vaccination in kids and how you watch it, right? I won't talk about it now too much. But at the end of the story, I know where you and your wife place on that, and you had your disagreements, which is fine, and that's normal healthy relationship is to be able to have disagreements. But at the end of the day, you came to agreement, and you know what you jeopardizing here with the health system, which is fine. With always due respect. So if you watch what I've sent you today, you should be proud of yourself with what you stick, because my beliefs is the same as yours.
Of course.
But look, in terms of my daughter's mom, she's in the same kind of fitness industry. You know, there are some challenges between two of us, but where you're not going to have, to be honest with you. But I don't think that's the challenge. I think it's when they go to school. And her school is good. Yeah. I won't say the name, but they're vegetarian. God damn.
Well, it's not a state school. It's a
but we won't go into the name, so I don't.
I won't say the name, but just so that everyone knows it's a different.
It's a great school.
It's not a government school.
Absolutely amazing school, right? But they're vegetarian, but you can't have everything, right? So my daughter comes and say, "How's your lunch?" She goes, "That was shit.
I'm starving.
I'm starving. Can you give me some meat?" It's what you see at school, right? So we'll go after a school, we'll go to a playground, right? And they'll have kids there. And you can see what the parents give them, packaged chips, sweet stuff. And it's all processed, right? Yeah. It's not like my mom makes homemade muffins, for example, right? Homemade muffins, oatmeal, butter, raw eggs.
It's just whole ingredients.
Yeah, whole ingredients.
A little bit of sugar, but it's whole ingredients.
She put dark chocolate chocolate.
Yeah, chips. Yeah.
So things such as you understand, you understand your raw sugar, you understand oatmeal, you understand,
of course,
raw organic eggs. Okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Right? But then you see lollies. Yeah. What is going to the lolly? Do you know these days? Do you know? I'm
sure a lot more than it was when I was
into
younger.
Lollies, man. No. It's so much processed sugar, right? So I'm going to try to educate my daughter on that, right? And say, all right, you see them doing lollies. Here's your grandma made some beautiful homemade chocolate muffin, or it's called ricotta cheesecake, but it's not a cheesecake. It's a ricotta.
No, it's ricotta. Yeah,
it's a ricotta, basically ricotta cheese with some
you mix
butter
that with
and
honey.
eggs.
It's like a dessert.
Yeah, and she loves it. So I'd rather her eat that stuff, clearly homemade stuff. I brought up on that as well.
No, of course.
Than her go and eat it. So that's the challenge. It's what she sees, what other kids have after school and in school, because even though you're not allowed to bring sugar at school, kids always sneak in.
They're impressionable, and
yeah, exactly.
And that's the issue. And I say to my missus, because as you said, that that the whole COVID period for me and my missus, but even we've got two beautiful kids now, and even then, I still find myself in kind of a jovial way going back and forth, where my missus obviously grew up in a Mexican background in the USA. So automatically you've got Mexican food, which is colorful and vibrant, but it's also very fatty, and you eat a lot of it. They've got a bit of a health problem over in Mexico, but they indulge massively in Coca-Cola, which is almost like the state.
I think that's where you start.
That's where you start. But even then, I tried to when I went to Mexico, I even said to my wife and some of her cousins, I said, they sell it in the 2 liter. Like, it's ridiculous. And the Mexican Coke is a little bit better ingredients-wise to the American one. It's still, obviously, it's all shit for you, but it's a little bit better. They put high fructose corn syrup in everything there. And then I'm just like, to my mother-in-law, to my missus, my father-in-law drinks Dr. Peppers for breakfast. But the guy's like got no fat on him at all. He's very, I don't know, it's just his genetics or whatever. But I said, Dad, that's like not, it's not good for you. My missus is like,
indulge that. Funny story about Coca-Cola. My daughter was probably about 3, and we were shopping at Woolies. Yeah. And she was asking, I was like 3 or 4, I think. I can't remember now. And she's asking about the soft drink. She doesn't know soft drinks. What's this, Papa? What's this? And I said, it's a toilet cleaner.
Someone here
to the
say
Coca-Cola. Yeah. So, but I said it at home, right?
Yeah. And
she'll remember this. Smart kid. Goddamn, kids are smart. And she remembered, she asked me why, and I explained it's extremely high in bad stuff. So when you put it in the toilet, we can experiment, and we did. It's actually going to clean the toilet. Yeah. Quite acidic. So time goes by, and she clearly remembered we're walking with Woolies. I'm buying kombucha, and unfortunately kombucha was in the same aisle as Coca-Cola. And so we're walking, and a woman buying Coca-Cola, funny enough, I think it was quite a big amount. And my dad goes, Dad, look, toilet cleaner. The look I got from that woman was quite priceless.
Are you cleaning your toilet too, ma'am?
Yeah, exactly. She didn't quite said that, yeah. But we just came, as I said, from Fiji. I can't remember, I think it was Suva, Fiji, or different one.
Nandi.
They produce cane sugar.
Yeah.
One of the British producers. And they make their own Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And the tour bus was talking to me, and he said, one of the tourists were cracking a Coca-Cola and said, excuse me, your Coke tastes different. She goes, yes, because we use real sugar.
Yeah, real organic cane sugar, which I guess moderately, you get like cane juice too. You go to some places where it's tropical and they do like fresh cane juice. I never know how to feel how I feel about drinking that though, but still, like even in Italy they have was it sarsaparilla and chinotto, which is it's like Coke, but when you look at the back of it, it's like what do you call it? Like the Wish version of Coke. It's very big. It's still bad for you, but it's cleaner though. But then again, you can get cleaner options of any of these things.
Anything you want, buddy.
Hey?
Anything you want.
Yeah, anything you want. Absolutely. And it's just, look, I just find it a shame that you walk into the supermarket and this is what you see. And because it's just disappointing, because even then now, me with my illness in the last 5 years having transformed my perception of diet, educated myself on what it is to be healthy, obviously working with people like yourself that have aided in that re-education of what I knew. And then, for example, I was at my specialist this week in Chatswood, and they just put it's in Chatswood, and they just put a McDonald's like on the high street there. Yep. And I'm just kind of walking down. I looked in there. I said to my missus, like, how do people still eat this shit? Like, and I just walked past and I said, do they have no shame? Like, there's kids in there ordering. My missus just goes, you and your sister are the biggest, most judgmental pricks that there are. She goes, why do you care so much? I said, it's because the fact that they're in there eating it is just giving it a reason to be here. Macca's used to cook their chips in tallow. Their chips have 50 ingredients. And it just shits me. I'm not judging them. Like, obviously, and I said it to my last guest that was on here, it's hypocritical to have a cross and have an icon and then talk about judging people. But it's not so much judging what they're doing. You can obviously eat whatever you want, but I just hate, you don't hate fat people. You hate that people are fat. You hate that their actions are only giving these institutes more reason to be there. Mm-hmm. Because you've got a beautiful organic fruit market just in the shopping centre next to it. But you're at Macca's. And I know the kids, I know they're not poor, I know they have money. You just ask your dad for a bit extra money. Can I go and buy this? Can we make hamburgers? Because what my dad and I used to do, and my dad was a bit of a pig back in the day, but when he was pre-diabetic, he changed his life. And that was a massive imprint on us kids. Mm-hmm. Because then he stopped drinking Coke, and then we stopped drinking Coke. I just wouldn't drink it now. And we used to do it old school Italian style. I said, do you want to go to the burger shop around the corner? No. We'll do it this way. We'll go to the deli. We'll buy the meats. We'll buy the bread. We'll go to a park bench, or we'll go back home and we'll make a panino.
Yep.
But don't go and let some guy cook it in seed oils and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just something simple like that. And I try and pass that on to my kids. They're still young, to my wife, but I quite like the idea of having my kids, and I don't know if it's the same with you. 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out. Because if you commit yourself to one whole side or one to the other, then you got to understand that life's about balance, and you don't want to be too much of a crazy person. You know what I mean? There is good in everything. You want to have some chips, look, have some chips, as long as you understand balance. But I also think moderation, and the whole moderation thing's also a little bit misleading as well, because it kind of gives you a little bit of incentive to be lazy and say, oh, it's just moderation. It's just a couple of chips every day.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, having said that, I suppose that whole moderation thing you'd hear a lot from new clients that are trying to lose weight. They're like, oh, I eat shit, but moderately.
Yep.
And then what do you tell them? Like, it's, you know.
Well, again, like with everything you said, McDonald's and all this stuff, it comes to education, right? And with all due respect, I'm quite older than you are.
Yes.
I can hear why you're so passionate about it. And I used to be the same, you know, why the fuck would you go to McDonald's and Burger King?
Exactly.
Right? You know, all the McDonald's are all about real estate
It's
these days.
almost embarrassing. I don't even want to be seen in there.
Yeah, but
You know?
at the end of the day, it's people priorities in the education, okay? Go on Cremon. Have you ever been in Cremon McDonald's, anyone? No?
No.
Go and have a laugh. You know what Cremon is? You do?
On the way to the Harbour Bridge, like past Mossman.
Bridge, Neutral Bay,
Military Road. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very quite wealthy area.
Yeah.
Go and sit down on the driveway. Ferraris, Audis, Porsches, drive through. So clearly, they will choose the best mechanic to look after their fucking car, but they don't look after their own bodies. It's the choice you make. That's good. Yeah, but you're going to be constipated full of shit, and and that's unfortunately pass it on to the kids. Well, what can you do? What's the point of getting upset about it? Create your own little culture.
Your tribe, your circle.
You'll get older, with all due respect. You'll let go of a lot of shit. You'll say, I can only help people I can help.
I don't want to help. I don't want to save drowning people, or people that don't want to be saved.
Exactly.
We saw that during the COVID period when I was trying to get people on our side, but then it dawned on me, you know what? They don't want to be.
No.
You know, and so what am I going to waste breath on people that don't want to hear it?
Yeah.
As you said, if someone has to get a stroke, if someone has to get myocarditis, if you have to get a jab induced illness for you to understand that what you just did wasn't voluntary. It wasn't because you thought it was the right thing. It's because you value smashed avo overpriced at a cafe more than you value the autonomy of your own body. Well, then you have to go through that.
Yeah.
But having said that, I guess in your opinion, when Petr Pavlov is retired and he's chilling and he's done and all your work's done, what kind of lasting legacy? How do you want people to remember you? Because you're imprinted in here forever.
Shit, I'm imprinted. Damn.
How do you want to be remembered,
Where's
Peter?
the camera? This is the cameras.
Look at all three of them.
Camera? You do not want to point the camera there. It's pointing.
I want you to
somewhere else.
say it to the camera and don't.
But I
blink.
like it. We need to do different podcasts. We're not on industry. What are we doing here? We should start before whatever we started.
Should do some casting.
OnlyFans. Anyways,
Only fruit.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
I wanna touch up on moderation.
Yeah.
I practice 80-20, but it doesn't fucking ever happen.
To carbs to protein.
No,
you mean,
in terms of 80% good, 20% bad, right?
Okay. Yeah.
5 days, indulge in 2 days. Eat what the fuck you wanna do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, choose what you eat.
100%.
Right.
Rotten one.
I buy my daughter ice cream. I try to get organic, or if I buy an ice cream, I look at the ingredients. It says Himalayan pink crystal salt and unpasteurized milk. Great,
Yeah.
sweet. I'll fucking buy it. I know what it is.
Fuck, would you buy that?
Shop around, research.
Fuck off. All right.
Okay.
Keep going.
How did you? Oh no. And in terms of where my legacy is gonna, you know what? It's a good question. I'm kind of actually funny enough you asked. After getting off the cruise, I go, what the fuck am I gonna do here now? You know, I'm getting to my mid 40s now, and where I'm gonna go with this. And I think I'm really passionate about education.
Yeah.
Maybe this podcast will take somewhere. You never know.
Yum yum. Peter's gonna blow up and become a
No.
TikToker.
Something's gonna blow. Definitely will. The outcome is always that. But we're getting away from the subject anyways. That guy over there is all time we're getting
Siberian health
wow.
tips.
Definitely cameras don't point that way.
Nice.
I want to educate. I always wanted to have my own gym.
Yeah.
But it's saturated market.
Of course.
It's, you know what? I honestly, I don't know. if something comes my way, I'm always a big believer, something will always come your way in a way of let go of old energy, then you won't come in, right?
Absolutely.
So it goes back to the same clients. Sometimes clients don't listen. And I'm open with the clients, hey, I want to help you, but I don't feel like I can help you anymore. Let's stay friends, let's keep in touch, but I feel like our relationship come to an end. And sometimes it does happen, and I'm honest, because I feel like, why would I charge you money, right, if you not value my expertise? Because at the end of the day, if I'm selfish, my name and my face is on your body.
Absolutely.
And if you don't even take half of the percent of what I'm trying to tell you, you're not going to get your results.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get results, people look and say, God damn, Peter doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So at the end of the day, let's finish this role. Let's become friends.
Yeah.
Or be friends, should I say. And when this client, sometimes they do leave, because I say how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And the minute that door closes, some other door opens up. And some other client will get more serious, with all due respect, because I really want to make a change, you know. I got quite a few people with now Parkinson's.
Yeah.
I would never thought I'm going to work with Parkinson's until 3 years ago. Never even thought about it. But then they came my way, and now I got 3, and they're getting great results. And one of them never exercised, and he's in 70s.
Yeah.
And now he's a changed person. And his family is saying he's a changed person. And smiles more, better posture, happy to be around, less shaking.
Yeah.
And he tells everyone to be in the gym. Now he's 70, never been in the gym before. So there you fucking go.
Beautiful.
So people want to change.
Yeah.
Now maybe he's 70, but look, he's never exercised.
Yeah.
So he changed his mind, he feels better and move forward. So, man, who knows where this is going to take. I would love to have a gym of my own, have education, you know, I'd like to be sponsored and charge people less money, educate them more who wants to come.
Absolutely.
But something will come, man.
I'll
I'll let it go.
I think it will.
Yeah.
Peter, you're an absolute gentleman.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, no, I appreciate it. I was very much looking
Are we
forward to
doing
this.
this podcast differently, Daniel?
See.
See?
Now,
senor.
I want you to stay right there because
Okay.
I'm busting through piss.
Okay.
I'm going to cut right back.
All right, cool. Are we stopping podcast or are we still rolling, guys?